now that we're done talking about snow, we'll call to order the regular Monday, December 8th. Try this again with the mic on. We'll call to order the regular Monday, December 8th school board meeting of ISD 717. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Deb Polly,
Here.
Molly Monyak,
Here.
Lauren Pedersen,
Here.
Corinne Hennon,
Here.
Jenny Kuski,
Here.
Christina Olson,
Here.
Matt Bertrain.
Thank you. Consideration of the agenda, no changes to the agenda since it was published. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Molly?
Second.
Lauren seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the agenda signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Jordan Pride Awards, Superintendent Evenson, and welcome.
Tonight, actually, Principal Visner from Jordan High School will be beginning our Jordan Pride Award.
All right. Well, thank you. I'm going to start out by ceding the floor to one of our other guests who is from our foreign exchange or student exchange program. So I'm going to have you come up and introduce yourself first and kind of talk about the program. Then we're going to honor a few of our students who are exchange students from other countries.
My printer broke, so we brought the whole computer. Good evening, members of the board. My name is Jess Primusberger. I am a chapter director for Flag International. I am based out of Minnesota. I came from Champlin today, but we are a U.S. Department of State, CSIET listed nonprofit organization that has been facilitating cultural exchange for 36 years. I know a lot of people don't come to board meetings just to say thank you, but that's exactly why I'm here. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude towards Jordan Public Schools for their openness and genuine support you've shown towards international exchange students. Your willingness to welcome students from all over the world doesn't just give them a place in your classrooms. It gives them a place in your community and in your hearts, and that type of hospitality truly matters. This year, Flag is so excited to have Adam from Finland as part of your school community. It sounds like there's another exchange student as well. Adam's having an absolutely remarkable year, and one that he's going to carry with him for the rest of his life. And that's entirely due to the warmth and generosity of the Poland family, who have embraced him not just as a guest, but as one of their own. Their home has become a place where Adam feels supported, encouraged, and included in every facet of American life. Jordan High School has also played a defining role in his experience, from the welcoming atmosphere on the very first day of school to the ongoing support from teachers, staff, and students. Adam has been able to fully immerse himself in academics, activities, and friendships. He frequently shares how grateful he is for the opportunities he's been given here. Opportunities that would have not been possible without your district's commitment to global citizenship. I also want to extend a sincere thank you to Principal Visner. He has been exceptional to work with, thoughtful, communicative, and clearly deeply invested in creating a school environment where all students can thrive, including those coming from thousands of miles away. Thank you again for your continued support of cultural understanding and exchange. We are genuinely excited to continue building this partnership with you and grateful for the way that Jordan Public Schools has helped shape the world one student at a time.
She was very positive there, but I know that we're not always easy to work with because it's always a nerve-wracking thing for us to bring students from thousands of miles away where they lose all of their support of their family. And obviously both the Poland family and the Gabrud family have both done a great job of hosting our students. And Adam and Martina, why don't you come up for a second here? I'll say a little bit about each of them. With both of them, our teachers don't even sometimes know. like, they're just students in our classrooms who both have excellent English skills. There's no transition there whatsoever. They have been, what I think is, where I see our students the most is in the lunchroom. And both of them have host siblings, and they don't sit with their host siblings. Like, we've had students before on exchange programs who have just followed around wherever their host sibling has gone. And these two both have just gone off on their own. Martina has a basketball injury. She's played volleyball. She's played basketball. Adam has been a part of activities. He has a group of friends too that just, he actually moves around. I see him with lots of different groups of friends and people. They have both just fit right into our community and into our school and have been fabulous as students. And like I said, probably the highest compliment is that our staff didn't know that they were from somewhere else. And so I guess I'm going to ask them both about a couple of questions. They're both a little nervous. I told Adam he had a 5-minute speech and he's dry. But Adam is used to this climate and this, when it's 4:30 and it's completely dark. I've been to Finland before, and I've been there in like the end of December when the sun comes up at 11 and goes down at about 3. And so he's used to this. Poor Martina from Barcelona. This is your first snow, correct? Yes. And now it's been a snow, like, we have not had this snow in quite a few years, so she thinks every day is just snowy. So she gets to go home with that story too. So I guess I'll start with you, Adam. Like, what has been one thing that has been like the biggest like culture shock? Like, you're like, oh my gosh, this is what they do.
Probably cars. People drive everywhere. Because in Europe, the distances are so short that we just get to walk everywhere. But here, I can't imagine myself walking in this like coldness, this absolute weather, to like Watermarkers or anywhere near.
Yeah.
Just cars in general. And people my age can't drive in Europe, so I have to be 18 to drive. But here it's 16, so it's so cool seeing 16-year-olds drive.
That's awesome. What would be one thing that was a surprise to you culturally?
Well, I am agree with him, but also the different change of like the lunch and these kind of things. For me, like our best lunch is the lunch,
Oh,
but
yeah.
then here you have like your dinner is your best meal, and it's like so strange because I normally eat at like at 9 or 9:30.
At night?
Yeah, at night.
Yeah.
And here is like at 5:36. I'm eating, so
Yep.
it's like I guess I don't
But
know.
it's always delicious, right?
Yeah, it's always delicious.
Yes.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
And at your lunch tables, well, you didn't really have lunch isn't the same way in your school.
Oh yeah,
So you-
sure.
So you don't have a group of people that you sit with that beg for candy every day like you do at your table, right?
Well, thank
She
you
has
for
a
the
person at her
candies.
table
Yeah.
that will be like, I'll do push-ups for candy.
Yeah.
And then they all
Love
encourage
it.
her, and then she will.
Yeah,
ask for that,
absolutely.
yes.
love it. Yeah.
What has been one thing that you just have been like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to go back and tell people about this that you experienced at school?
I'd say the teachers.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
teachers
yeah.
here are awesome.
Yeah.
They're also engaging, and they're also like they're also enthusiastic about what they teach, and it's very different in Finland because in Finland it's kind of more generic, and people don't have set classrooms, so every classroom is like the same, and everybody can teach with different sorts of things. But here they're very like designated to a certain teacher, and I just love the classrooms.
Good.
The classrooms are great.
Awesome.
They have all sorts of decorations and everything, because in Finland they're all like bland and white and colors. I just love it here.
Good.
Yeah, I think that the teachers are so helpful with us. It's like super because in Spain we don't have this. I'm not like so used to like the teachers ask me like how it's going and how are you and things like this, and I love this because it's like okay, like they have a lot of students, but they ask for you, like they wait and they say like how are you, and it's like so fun because if you are not having your best day and if someone asks you like how are you feeling or something like that, and it's like so good. And it's really this like people are
Oh, okay. All right. Let's see. Last question. So I'm gonna go to you first on this because you one day came to me. Adam came to me one day at lunch and he's like, "You got to try this." But he came with like 4 other people and a kid with a phone. And so I'm like, oh, I know where this is going. And I'm like, first of all, what are we talking about here? And secondly, put down the phone. And then, so I tried it, and it was the most odd piece of candy I've ever had in my life. And so it was like kind of chewy, but it was super salty. It was like black licorice,
Yeah.
but with a bunch of salt on it. And it was a very popular thing in Finland, apparently. Not for me, but for them. But I ate it, and he was impressed that I just
Yeah.
gagged that thing
A lot
down.
of people do that.
Yeah, all right, yes. So what has been like the favorite food, favorite American food, and like, oh my gosh, I will never eat that again?
My favorite American food's probably been maybe chicken tacos.
Okay.
I really like chicken tacos. And yeah. I don't really know.
Better be careful, because you still are with your host family for another 6 months. You could pass on that one too.
I love your food.
Martina, how about you? What's one thing that you're like, oh wow, I never have had that before in Spain?
It's so difficult because I have a credit card at home. But probably I'm going to say something like from Minnesota, like hot dish.
Oh, okay.
And I love tater tots. So you have to.
Tater tot hot dish.
tot hot
All right, yes. That's a classic Minnesota thing. All right. So do we have awards for them?
Yes,
Chair
we
Polly?
do.
All right.
Well, I just want to say we're so happy to have you here, and thank you to the parents, the families that are taking them in. My husband and I had a foreign exchange student from Guatemala back in the day, and he came in as he was a senior in their country, came in as a junior here, or vice versa, and he was a soccer player there, and he ended up being the kicker for the football team here. So a little bit of jealousy between my youngest son Josh and him, because he got a lot of attention. So it was a great experience. So I'm so happy to hear that you're having a great experience here. And I bet Mr. Visner paid you to say those nice things about your teachers. So.
That was all unscripted.
Yeah.
Any other questions I was even going to ask?
And it is a great opportunity, and it really enhances our students and our teachers for you guys to venture out and be part of our community. So thank you both very, very much. So we have a Jordan Pride Award that you can stick in your little scrapbooky things. Both of them read a Jordan Pride Award presented to Adam and Martina for demonstrating excellence on behalf of the Jordan High School Flag International Exchange Student Program, whose endeavor for excellence has shown character, determination, and hard work that represent the values of our school and our community. This is a small token of gratitude on behalf of the board to say thank you, congratulations for being a role model to others, and for being a part of our district. So thank you. Great, thank you.
Fantastic. So we will take a few pictures, but I also like to publicly thank the Poland family and the Gabrud family for hosting our students there. So thank you for that. All right, we'll go over here and take a few pictures, and then they are all heading off to the choir concert. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Next. Superintendent Nielsen.
All right. Well, tonight we have, I would say, a bookend to the construction project. Communication, trust, relationships, student-centered, responsive, community-focused. Those are all the words that really come to mind when I think about the relationship with our project coordinators and facilitators with Krause Anderson. And I always think about trust. Trust is the byproduct of good communication, and we had such good communication. And so tonight, we will be honoring Michaela Sylvester, who's our project manager, who finished up this last section of the project. Chris Baus, who can't join us tonight, he's the superintendent of the project that has been with us since the beginning. And Dustin Kemp, our senior project manager, who also is a Jordan parent and community member. KA was all of these things and more. And I just want to, on behalf of Jordan Public Schools, thank you for serving our students, our staff, our community through this project, because the impact that we have already and for years to come, we are so grateful for. So I wanted to say thank you and have you come up, and Chair Polly will give you a Jordan Pride Award.
This is actually kind of sad because, like Kristen, you have become part of our family over the last 2 years, and we're incredibly grateful for everything that you've done. You've gone above and beyond for our district, and believe me, we know what coming in on time, under budget, and we know that a lot of that was due to all the extra stuff that you guys did. So please let Chris know how much he means to us, and we're very grateful for all that you've done. So I have Pride Awards that read the same as the kids. It is presented to each of you for creating exceptional real-world experiences for our students. They're different. This one is Chris's. For creating exceptional real-world experience for our students, building project superintendent. Some of the things that our elementary student, well, all of our students, our high school students, some of the things that they were able to experience being incorporated into the actual building project is just amazing. And I suspect that out of our school, we're going to have a lot of kids that are going to end up going into the trades as a result of this, which is a good thing. And it's thanks to everything that Kristen and your team did. So thank you to Krist. And then we have Michaela. So yours reads, for unwavering dedication to make a difference for student and staff as the building project's assistant project manager. So amazing teamwork, amazing work with our staff and students, our administrative team. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And Dustin, again, for your unwavering dedication to make a difference for our students and staff. I know this is home for you, and we're very, very grateful to have you in the community, and very grateful for everything you did for our staff and our students and our school. It was an amazing project, so thank you. Thank you. I don't know what else to say, but thank you.
Thank you guys.
Okay, public comments, none. Consent agenda, we have the November regular meeting, special meeting and workshop, the November monthly financials. We have the donations as follows. We have Fish Lake Sportsman Club lockdown buckets, the amount of $2,500, and I want to thank Matt for facilitating that. It was at the Fish Lake Sportsman Club meeting that he very graciously gave a little pep talk and asked, and was absolutely blown away when they made the motion to give $2,500. So thank them, and thank you for doing that. MBEC Jordan Public Schools, $500. MBEC Jordan Middle School, $720. Holly Kavapel, I don't know what CAF is. CAF America. I don't know. Jordan Middle School, $50. Mary Koslerich, Jordan Elementary School, $250. Mary Koslerich, Jordan Middle School, $250. Again, Holly Kvapel, CAF America, Jordan Middle School, $50. Cywick Lumber and Millwork, the lockdown buckets, $1,192.13. Cheryl Langsworth, $8,000, and Mighty Cause for the JES backpack program, $45. And matters of employment, we have all of the fall coaches. I'm not going to read their name. Those are all renewals. We also have new hire boys basketball coach, Josh Sitzman, and the middle school, that's $26.10 per Schedule C. Janae Vogel is coming back to us as a long-term sub-paraprofessional in the early learning services at Lane 2, Step 1. Greg Dietl, front desk assistant in the CERC, Lane 2, Step 1, and Kelsey Pacarna Dabu, front desk assistant in the CERC, lane 2, step 1. And then, like I said, all of the fall coaches. So, yes, Kirsty, you'll have to, yeah. So we have, I'll entertain a motion to approve consent.
Motion to approve.
Matt, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Lauren, okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Abstained?
Abstain.
Okay, those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, review and act on the FY25 audit.
Deb, I think Tony's on that list, I can still vote yes, right?
Pardon me?
Because it's a renewal?
No.
No, we would abstain as well.
Okay, well, I abstain. I'm gonna change
Oh, wait a
that.
minute. Oh, was Tony one of the coaches? Oh, darn.
So do we?
Let's see, let me
I
think.
thought you could, it's just the contract, I can't vote on,
No, it's because it's a contract.
It's still a
It's
contract.
a contract.
but it's not like they're
It's a contract.
Yeah.
It's a contract with the
Just
district.
renewing the same contract.
So procedurally,
I thought if you're hired, you could still vote, it was just if, like, the,
No. There's a, because it's mutual.
Can I make a motion to reopen that piece of the,
the vote on
The
the
vote.
consent,
on consent, so we
Okay.
can change that vote?
so we can revote.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we have a motion by Lauren to
Second.
revote on the consent and a second by Molly. Okay, any questions or clarification? Okay. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda items signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Abstain?
abstain.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. 3 in favor, 5 in favor, 2 abstentions. Motion carries. Thank you. Okay. Okay, here we go. Our auditor, thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Casey Tome. You'll probably remember me from last year. I'm an audit manager out of the Mankato Eide Bailey office. I have been with the firm for about 6 years now, and I've been working on Jordan's audit since my career started at Eide Bailey, with the exception of this year. I was out for a majority of the audit year on my maternity leave. I just tell you guys that, so if you have any hard questions, I can defer them all right now, but I'm totally kidding. But so I'm here today to discuss the operating results for the district for fiscal year 25. That covers the timeline of July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025. These slides, they're really just going to be here to present summarized information from the audited financial statements. Gives you a pretty good picture of the district's financial condition at this time. We're also compiling it over several years so you can see the trends and stuff like that too. So we'll start with our audit results, or our audit opinion. The district received a clean audit opinion, which we called an unmodified opinion. It just means that we concluded that the financial statements were prepared using correct accounting principles, they don't contain material misstatements, and they are fairly presented. We call those the big three. We like to emphasize that management is responsible for making those big three items happen, and we as the auditors, our only responsibility is just to come in and give you an opinion on those 3 items. So, like I said, we deemed it all as good. We also like to mention that the audit we obtain is reasonable, but not absolute assurance. We do our procedures on a test basis. Obviously, you know, we don't have the time or the capacity to come in and test every single transaction that you guys do. So we do some planning procedures. We find out where the maybe higher risk areas are, and that's how we determine where we test maybe more versus less and stuff like that. So we're not giving you 100% assurance, but we can give you our best. On our next slide here, I'm going to talk about this GASB 101 implementation. So in the report this year, you guys are going to see a restatement. This is noted as a result of the implementation of a new accounting standard this year. This standard basically just affects the way that we're calculating our compensated absences liability. It provides us with a more consistent measurement across all governments going forward. As a result of implementing this standard, we increased our long-term liabilities by about $2.9 million. That sounds really big and really concerning, but now that all governments are on this same calculation with the same standard, that's a pretty similar adjustment that we've had to most of our other districts this year. So you're right in line with where everything else is coming out now. This was required to be implemented for all school districts this year. So like I said, this increase to the liabilities is something you'd see across the board in all other school districts. just something we wanted to bring to your attention, so when you see the restatement piece on the financial statements, it's not anything that you're concerned about. On our next slide, we've got the audit of the federal funds. This year, you guys spent about $1.3 million in federal awards, which triggered that single audit. The major program that we tested this year was the Child Nutrition Cluster. That made up about $538,000 of that $1.3 million, so that was your biggest program with those expenditures, which is pretty common, besides when you guys had that ESSER funding, which we tested multiple years in a row. Now that that's obviously gone, we're going back to that Child Nutrition Cluster as the biggest one, so that's what we tested this year. For our single audit testing, we test quite a few transactions in these programs. We test eligibility for the people that are receiving these benefits and stuff too. So all this testing, it's a lot and it's pretty time consuming, but Amy and her team were super great about getting us exactly what we needed to finish out this piece of the audit. We gave the district an unmodified or a clean opinion on the compliance for the major federal awards program report as well. This next slide, I'm going to go into our findings that we noted this year. So the first finding you'll see here is that prep of the financial statements. You probably recognize that from prior years. Really, it just means that you guys are employing Eid Bailey to prepare the financial statements for you. We just do that out of convenience and ease. It doesn't really make sense for school districts of this size to hire CPAs on staff to make this whole thing when we're coming in and looking at it already. So that's that. We do expect it to be recurring year over year. Our second finding here is for a material journal entry finding. This just relates to that adjustment that I talked about with that implementation of that new GASB standard. Since it was kind of a large adjustment and we needed to do that calculation ourselves with the help of Amy, we have to technically call that an audit adjustment this year. We helped Amy calculate it this year just basically due to the newness of it. I have full confidence that next year she can take it on by herself. We can eliminate this finding as a result of that. But yes, that's just why we have that finding this year. Our third finding here, listed under the significant deficiency heading there, is the improper retention of employee personnel forms. During our testing, we just pull a couple of employees and we test their I-9s, basically we call it our census testing. There was one employee that we noted that there was not an I-9 on file. It was just one instance of that. Just want to reiterate, the employee that we tested, they were hired a while ago before the current business office and administration was staffed by the district. So I do know that Amy has good processes moving forward. I don't expect this to be a recurring issue. It just was the luck of the draw this year. Our last couple findings here relate to the Minnesota legal compliance findings. Our first one there is the unclaimed property finding, which relates to just a few old outstanding checks that need to be remitted to this state. Technically, the rule is if an old outstanding check is 3 years old, or if it's 1 year old, if it's a payroll check, it needs to be sent to the state for remittance there. But so there's just a couple more of those out there, so we just have to bring that to your attention. Our second finding there was the improper usage of student activity funds. During our testing, we just reviewed one invoice that was incorrectly coded to the wrong student activity account. It was very immaterial, like under $100, so not something we're super concerned about, and we know that it's been corrected since then. We don't expect either of those findings to continue going forward. Then just a reminder, you can get a clean audit opinion and still have these findings. It's not going to change our audit opinion, basically. That kind of went over our audit results, I guess I should say. Now we're going to get into the numbers piece of it. So we'll start with the cash and investments here. Here we're just taking a look at the cash balances over the past 10 years. Just note that these don't include cash held in the capital projects or the debt service funds. We exclude those so we can show you the true cash balances without any loan proceeds. On our next slide here, we're going to look at ADM served on the next one. Here we go. So students are the main drivers of your revenues that you guys get every year. So we just like to point out the trends. We're up quite a few students from 2024, but it's overall stayed pretty steady. So just like to point that out. This slide is our budget to actual slide. Just as a reminder, we're only looking at this for the general fund. As part of our audit procedures, we look at the budget to actual variances on a much more detailed level than this. We ask Amy for basically any large differences, and she was very knowledgeable about where everything was sitting, and she had an explanation for everything that we asked about. So again, another huge thank you to Amy for that. Overall, you can see that revenues came in about $1.07 million over budgeted amounts this year. Most of this had to do with the conservative budgeting that you guys do. There's a lot of unknowns with those local revenues like donations and student activity revenues, et cetera, stuff like that. The district also doesn't budget for the TRA or the para special funding revenue or the ALC targeted services revenue. So anything that we get for that, it just turns out positive, which is the reason for that there. Expenditures came in about $794,000 to the negative, meaning we spent a little more than we budgeted for. The driver that we noted for this was some expenses for some new required training for teachers that wasn't originally budgeted for. And then there was a flooring replacement project that looks like it was originally budgeted for in a different fund maybe, and then all the expenses ended up going to the general fund. So that's why that shows up here. In the end, down at the bottom, you can see that $3.9 million. That's our fund balance in the general fund at the end of the year. So on the next slide, obviously a positive fund balance is exactly what we want. Here's a couple of reasons why. On the next slide, I'm going to outline where that fund balance is getting split out into. So we've got various restrictions. Those are all determined by the state. In that fund balance end of year column, that's where, that's the remaining, I guess, remaining fund balance that you have for those restrictions there. The state gives the district funds to spend on specific things, so that's why we spell it out here. So you can see how much you guys still have left to spend. That non-spendable line way up at the top there of that $133,000, those amounts are dollars that literally can't be spent. They're not in a spendable form. They're like prepaids or inventory, money held up elsewhere, I guess. Then we've got the restrictions listed out, like I mentioned, and then the unassigned fund balance at the bottom of that $3.07 million. That's basically everything that's left over. It's just what we call our reserves or our rainy day fund. You can kind of put that wherever is needed. The next slide has a little more information about those different fund balance categories here. I already explained the non-spendable, the restricted, and the unassigned there, but feel free to refer back to this one as needed. On this next total fund balances slide, I just am giving you guys a good analysis of the operations of the general fund over the years and how those restrictions have kind of ebbed and flowed over the last 10 years or so. On our next slide, we outline the recommendations regarding fund balances. So we give you the Minnesota Office of the State Auditors, I guess, recommendations up at the top there. Kind of take that with a grain of salt, though, because these are not school district specific. Most of the time, school districts, they have less in their unrestricted fund balances because you guys have more reliable cash flow. So we outline that here, but it's not something you need to take super seriously. Instead, we look to your guys' fund balance policy that you guys have decided yourself, which is to maintain a minimum fund balance of about 12% of the annual budget. For fiscal year 25, that target amount was about $3.1 million. And the results are on the next slide here. So that red line there, that's your minimum fund balance policy that you guys outline. You can see that we just came in just below that this year with that $3.07 million that I mentioned on the previous slides. Just pointing out here, nothing's going to happen with this. It's just kind of an internal tool that you guys can use. You can change it at any time as well with a board resolution. It's really just to give you guys a little internal tool to see where things are sitting. And moving on, we'll talk about some other funds here. First, the Community Service Fund. We're just showing you the fund balance trends over the last 10 years. We're sitting pretty strong right now with about $125,000 this year. Our next slide is our Food Service Fund. So that red line there, that indicates the maximum allowable fund balance, which is set by the state. It's the equivalent of 3 months of expenditures, which for Jordan this year, that was about $736,000. You guys are well below that, so that's perfect. What happens when you hit that fund balance limit is they'll reach out to you and they'll ask you to come up with a plan on how you plan to spend that fund balance down. We were above it these last couple of years, so it looks like you guys have done a great job of spending that down this last year. Our debt service fund is next. This is just showing anything that's a positive fund balance here. It just indicates that revenues are able to cover your debt payments. We had that big decrease in 2023 due to several of those bonds being called and paid off. So that's why that big jump is there. And then lastly, we have our capital projects fund. Where the positive fund balance here just indicates that revenues from the debt issuance and the other sources are enough to cover your expenditures of the ongoing building project. That large increase in 2023 is due to the building bond project, as you guys know. And then our last informational slide here that we have is just going to give you a quick analysis of our expenditures per ADM in the certain programs here, and then we compare it to the state average. The conclusion here is basically that your expenditures per ADM for the district have been coming in just under the state average. I don't see any big variances here that I need to discuss any further though, so all looks great. Any questions that I can answer for you guys while I'm here?
I'll open it up for questions. I really liked the format of the audit report this year a lot.
Awesome. Great to hear it, yeah.
Yes, a lot.
Perfect.
Comments, questions? So no red flags that we as board members
Nothing.
should be
Nope.
watching for?
Nothing that you should be watching for. We'll stay in contact with Amy with the implementation of that new GASB. We just gotta walk her through that calculation because it's new to all of us as well. So, like I said, full confidence she can take care of that next year though, so you won't have any of those material journal entry findings or large restatements or anything like that.
Great. Good.
Um,
Questions? Okay, this is an action item, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the FY25 audit.
Motion to approve?
Lauren, is there a second? Jenny, just any more questions or discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Safe travels back. Yeah, it was, yeah. Chrissy. Okay, truth and taxation presentation. Ms. Haferman? Thank you.
I know you guys are just all waiting for this, because I know I am. Okay. So, we are here tonight to talk about truth and taxation. So first, we're going to go over the agenda. So we're going to review the meeting requirements per Minnesota Statutes 275-065. We're also going to present a little bit on our current school year budget. We're going to do a presentation of the proposed tax levy, and then we're going to leave time for public comment. So some of the requirements for the truth and taxation is the meeting must be held between November 25th and December 30th at 6 p.m. or a later time. It may be part of a regularly scheduled meeting, and the presentation must include fiscal year 2026 budget information, as well as the payable 2026, which is for fiscal year 2026-27 proposed tax levy, and we must allow for public comment. So public school districts are funded by the federal government, state government, local fees, and local taxpayers through property taxes. The state of Minnesota is the largest source of our funding. As you can see on this graph, this outlines our state aid per pupil, or per pupil by state aid. So in 2003, the green graph shows how it grew, and our current state aid formula is about $7,650 per adjusted pupil unit. If we were to go with inflation, it would be about $9,112. So we are the adjusted formula has not risen with the cost of inflation. Now we're going to talk about our school budget for this fiscal year. So we have to do our budgeting by fund. So our general fund is the operating costs such as teacher salaries, administrative costs, textbooks and equipment, and other miscellaneous supplies. The food service fund is for nutrition programs, primarily school breakfast and lunch. That's what we have here. Our community service fund is for the community education programs such as school readiness and adult basic education. We also have a building construction fund, which is for our building construction costs and renovations. The debt service fund, which is Fund 7, is to pay the principal and interest on our outstanding bonds. We also have an internal service fund, which uses, in most districts, it's for health and dental plans. So in our district, that's our Fund 20. And our dental insurance plan and expenses run through that. So for the 2026 budget overview, when we adopted the budget, our general fund had revenues of about $25.7 million and expenses of $25.736 million for a deficit of $16,806. Our food service fund had a revenue of about 1.553 million and expenses of about 1.567 for a deficit of 13,865. Our community service fund had about 1,820,000 and expenses of 1,873,000. The construction fund had revenue estimated about 20,000 and expenses of 2,100,000. With the construction fund, we have to keep in mind the only revenue that's going into that right now is our interest from the remaining bond that we have, but we still have the expenses going out, and that fund should pretty much be depleted at the end of this year. The debt service fund has a revenue of about 5,090,000 and expenses of 5,140,000. The internal service fund has $127,000 revenue and $130,000 expenditures. And keep in mind, this is what was at the adopted budget, but things change daily. I mean, we've had contract negotiations, which was figured into that. Enrollment plays a large part of that, as well as other utility costs, snow plows, everything goes into that. So we'll give a more detailed revised budget in the upcoming months, probably in February or March. So where does our general fund revenue come from? As you can see, 83% comes from state aid, and about 14% comes from local revenue, which is our property taxes and our fees and registrations and things like that. Our expenditure budget, 58% is salaries, 19% is benefits, 16% is purchase services, and about 3% is supplies and materials, and the rest is for capital expenditures. Some of the highlights on our district, so we have, as the audit stated, we have a current bond rating of A1, which is good. Our office has gotten the Minnesota Department of Education and Financial Reporting Award for the last 6 years. We have a clean audit opinion, and we've had that for the past 6 years. Our district office staff works closely with our auditors and works hard to maintain a clean audit opinion every year. Right now, well, we've always had a good district office team. They are Katie Picarna-Damlo, who is our payroll benefits coordinator, Krista Halverson, who is our accounts payable, accounts receivable coordinator, and Heather Fry, who is our Mars coordinator, district office administrative assistant. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the levy. So our 2025 payable 2026 levy, it's certified in 2025, which is tonight. The revenue will be collected in 2026, and it will be recognized as revenue in 2027. The state of Minnesota limits the property tax levy by the statutorily defined formulas. Levy formulas are driven by pupil counts, specific eligible expenditure types, population, voter authorization, and district-wide property valuations. So our proposed levy, as you can see by this graph, it compares the final pay 2025 levy to what we're proposing in 2026. So our total levy that's proposed for the general fund in 2026 will be $2,928,000, which is about a 0.3% decrease. Our community service fund for 2026 will be $121,939, which is about a 7.3% decrease. Our debt service fund will be about $5,080,000, which is about a 0.2% decrease. Overall, the total property tax levy for pay 2026 will be $8,130,348, or a 0.34% discount or decrease from last year. Some of the major changes are annual OPEB increased of $68,706, and that was based on expenses paid for fiscal year 2025. Our adjustments and abatements decrease of about $32,319 due to adjustments to LTFM, local optional, and other general levy amounts reduced the current year levy. And debt service, a decrease of about $10,298 due to the decrease in voter-approved debt, offset by a decrease of non-voter-approved adjustments. So when they calculate the property tax, they use 3 key variables. The first one is estimated market value, which is established by the county assessor. Property classification rates, which is established by the state legislature. And tax levy, which is established by taxing jurisdictions for schools, city, county, and others. Property values do not rise uniformly across all properties. The burden of the levy shifts from taxpayers with lower increases to those with higher increases. The higher the increase, the larger the piece of the pie. There are two types of tax valuations. The net tax capacity, which is most all property types are paid this amount, and the referendum market value. This excludes ag land and seasonal recreation properties. So our current local operating referendum is $724 per pupil unit. This is the amount that every school district receives if no voter approved operating levy is in place. So for the Jordan School District for taxes payable 2026, the net tax capacity levy amount is $6,384,734. And the referendum market value levy amount is $1,745,614 for a total 2026 levy amount of $8,130,348. So this is just an estimated calculator. So if your home value is $425,000, in 2026, your estimated taxes would be about $1,527 to the school district, which leads to about $236 for categorical, $53 for board approved debt, $868 for voter approved debt, and $370 for categorical levies. So with an estimated tax impact of 4.9% increase to residential and commercial property and 5.9% increase in agricultural property, if your home value was in 2025 was $452,000 and it went up to $475,000 in 2026, you would still see a decrease of about 0.22% in your taxes for pay 2026. And for ag, if you had land of $12,000 or $12,700 estimated in 2025 and it went up to $13,500, you'd see an increase of about 2.9%. So an estimated tax impact with 0% increase in values. If we look at that $405,000 house with no increase, your school taxes will go down about 5.24% tax. And these are just estimates given to us. But if you on the other side, if you had an estimated tax impact with 10% increase in values, if you took that $100,000 house and it went up to $445,610, you'd see about a 5.08% increase in your taxes. Other taxpayer resources are Minnesota Homestead Property Tax Refund, Special Property Tax Refund Programs, Senior Citizen Property Tax Deferrals, Disabled Veterans Homestead Property Tax Illusion, Blind or Disabled Special Homestead Classification, and Green Acres and Rural Preserves. So for the certified 2025 versus proposed payable 2026 levy, as you can see, the actual levy, again, in 2025 was $8,158,060.63. The proposed for 25 pay 26 is $8,130,347.75 for a difference of a negative $27,712.88 or a decrease of 0.34%. So the recommended levy certification amount is $8,130,347.75.
Okay, so I will open it up to any public comment. Okay, seeing none. This is an action item, so the recommendation, so item 8.3, is that where we're at? Yeah. Okay. Trav, you're not gonna come up and complain about your taxes?
Sit down, Renee. You know how it's decreasing?
Yeah, right. Hates a decrease.
Yes, it's terrible. This this is pretty nice. This needs to be headlines in the newspaper that we don't have decrease in school. Yes, nice job on that, Amy. So, the recommendation then is to levy,
That's in the next, is the truth and, yep, we can do the levy certification.
are we done with that then? And is there any comments or questions for Amy before we move on to approving it? Any
Nice job,
comments?
Amy, thank you.
Thank you,
Excellent job.
thank you.
Very nice presentation. Okay, so we will go on to the levy certification, item 8.3.
So, our levy has to be certified by December 28th, and we do that annually. Lauren has to sign off on it, or the board clerk and I submit it to the county auditor in state of Minnesota, and also MDE. So the 2025 pay 2026 levy had a percentage decrease of overall funds of 0.34%. The majority of homes in the Jordan School District had an increase to their property value of an estimated 4.9%. The commercial industrial properties increased by an estimated 4.9%, and the agricultural homestead and non-homestead values increased by about 5.9%. Of the $5,080,000, 247 that we levy for debt service, of that, 303,000 of that will be paid by the state via the ag to school credit. The referendum market value increased by 4.92%, and the net tax capacity increased by 5.91%. These increases mean decreases in the market, in the referendum market value tax rate to about 8.54%, and a decrease in the net capacity rate of 4.13%. It is my recommendation that the Board of Education certify the total levy amount of $8,130,347.75.
Okay, so we have a recommendation from our finance director. I will entertain a motion to approve the total levy amount of the $8,130,347.75. Matt, is there a second?
I'll second.
Corinne? Okay. Questions, comments, discussion? I think it's pretty cool that we have a decrease. Okay, any questions? No? All those in favor of approving the levy signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. And be careful driving home, because it was snowing like a banshee.
I have a pencil, not a pen.
Okay, review and act on 2026, 2027 calendar. Superintendent Evenson.
Right. Chair Polly, members of the board, it is that time of year where we are approving next year's calendar. I always look forward to this committee meeting and the work that goes into just making sure that we have a calendar that is supportive of our students educationally, allows for the professional development that needs to happen, and also really honors what we hear from our families regarding the calendar. And I really feel like this calendar does all of those things. A couple of changes this year. Labor Day is super late. I want to say like the 7th or 8th. And so we will start ahead of Labor Day with our first day for students. We'll have our first day for students on September 1st, but we will have on the 31st our like freshman focus and all of those things. So, so that will start ahead of Labor Day. That is a little change this year. We will also end around Memorial Day, which the feedback has been super positive on that the last few years. This year, I think the day before Thanksgiving, we are off. When we can do that, we try to do that because we get a lot of positive feedback on that from our families too, who like to maybe travel, which I totally get. And so, yeah, I would present to you a calendar that really was a collaborative effort from the committee with representation from one of our board members, Director Kuski, our 3 principals, our activities director, early learning services, and then communications, building rep, myself, and I'm probably forgetting some, but my recommendation would be to approve this calendar. It's nice to do that in December so families have that ahead of meeting up with families on the holidays and planning out any trips and things like that. So,
Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve the 2026, 2027 calendar.
Motion to approve.
Molly, is there a second?
Second.
Jenny, okay. Comments, questions?
Yeah, I had a couple of questions just on the professional development days. What does that look like compared to this year? Because I noticed we had them kind of peppered throughout, so there are
Yep.
these days.
It is changing back to what we've done in the past.
Okay.
Yep, last year, it's a very good catch. So last year with professional development, we front loaded. So most of the PD was in the summer. That's really hard to do with the different requirements that we have with the READ Act and a multitude of other new things, the North Star work that our elementary teachers are going to be doing. And so feedback from staff and from administration was that it would be better to have a few days throughout the year. I think we placed one in, I feel like November, I think January. And so this is more conducive to ongoing conversations and not what I would call kind of a one-shot wonder, where here's your information at the start of the year, good luck, and we'll talk about it next year. This allows for more ongoing, meaningful work. So yeah, that was done this year, and I'm very, very happy about that we could do that.
So did we do any of that this year, or was just all in the summer?
It was all in the summer.
Okay. So okay. I'm just,
So we're going back to what we
Yep.
have done and has
because we
worked.
used to do like half days, right? There was
Yep.
some half days
Yeah,
and things
and
like
feedback
that.
from families was that that was a little tougher
Mm-hmm.
to do the half days. And so you'll see on this calendar, I think we only have kept one half day, and that's the last day of school.
Okay.
And so we were very intentional to make sure if we're doing the PD days, that it's a full day. Easier planning for families, and so they know that ahead of time. And we also tried, when we could, to stack those onto other extended breaks when we could.
Thank you.
You bet. Good question, and thank you for catching that. I forgot to mention it.
Other questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor, did we have a motion? Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. Okay, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Review and act on the overnight field trip request. This will be timed.
I'm doing okay. It's okay. You know, I'm okay.
All right. Good evening, board. Thanks for having me this evening. I have a total of 3 overnight field trips that are coming up here towards the end of December and into early January. 1 for our Scott West Nordic skiing team and 2 for our Scott West wrestling team. I will chat about the Nordic one first. This is sort of a repeat of an annual trip that our coaches and a couple of parents take our interested Nordic skiers on up to Biwabik, Minnesota, which is where the state meets for both Nordic and alpine skiing are held. It's an opportunity for 2 things primarily. One, common theme that you'll hear with almost all of these overnight trips is team bonding. It's one of those special experiences that kids who participate in our programs often look forward to. That's one component of it. And then the specific location is chosen because that's, as I mentioned, where the state meet is held. So we do have a couple of skiers who have a realistic opportunity at making it to the state meet this year, so that gives them a chance to have skied the course previously before they get to that year-ending meet at the end. The trip is financed out of their fundraised money. The Jordan Booster Club houses an account that the Nordic skiing team raises money into and then can spend out of. So that's where they'll be covering their expenses from. But the dates on that one are December 29 into December 30th. So it's a single overnight trip for the Nordic skiers.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve the overnight ski trip for the Nordic skiers to Biwabik.
Motion to approve?
Lauren, is there a second? Matt, okay. Questions, comments, discussion? Been there, it's quite a remote place.
You won't stumble on it, that's for sure.
Right.
Never even heard of it.
Biwabik?
Yep.
Biwabik?
Yes. It's way up there.
It is up there.
Yeah.
Isn't it a resort though? Like, is it?
Giants Ridge is the name of
okay,
the ski
Giants Ridge.
resort.
Yeah.
Resort. It's but yeah, it's a joint site for both cross country and downhill state skiing. So they hold it that far up there because you feel pretty comfortable there's going to be snow.
Exactly. So I have a motion and a second. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the trip signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
The other requests are both for the Scott West Wrestling Program. They have 2 overnight trips that they are looking to take on the 2 weekends that bookend winter break. Neither of them require any missing of school, which is always nice, along with the Nordic skiing trip. The first one is a trip down to Rochester. This is a tournament that the team has attended annually going back a number of years. I'm not sure exactly how many. As is the trip to Rogers, which is on the first weekend of January after the new year. So the purposes for both really are the same. Again, team bonding is one component of it. And then those are 2 of the better holiday tournaments in the state. For sure, the one down in Rochester is a very well-known event that we've had a number of our state participant types usually kind of establish themselves at that meet, and the one in Rogers is similar and kind of growing towards being one of the more recognized in the state as well. It's the same transportation cost as if they would go to sort of a routine meet, but the rest of it is covered out of the Scott West Booster Club's expenditures. So they cover the cost of things like hotels and food for the wrestlers. So those are the 2 trips for the Scott West Wrestling Program.
Okay, and we will take these individually, so I'll ask for a motion to approve the Scott West Wrestling trip to Rochester, December 19th and 20th.
Motion to approve.
Molly, is there a second? Matt? Okay, questions, discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Second request is the trip to Rogers for January 2-3. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Molly, is there a second?
I'll second.
Corinne, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Safe travels home. Okay, review and act on the 25-27 confidential employees' terms and conditions. Superintendent Evenson.
All right, Chair Polly, members of the board, actually the next, I want to say 4 attachments are updated contracts. It's that time of year. And so I'll go through them. Some of the things are similar and some of the things are individual to the group. Overall, each of these next 4 items average about a 1.5 and a 1.5 to salary and a $500 contribution each year to family insurance. We did some restructuring on some of the plans to keep them in alignment with some of our other groups, like our paraprofessionals. And there were just a couple of tweaks we needed to do that. Some of the groups that did not have Good Friday, we added Good Friday, so that was more in alignment as well. We did have some shift in deferred compensation caps as well. But overall, we were able to stay within the budget parameters that we had set forth on that. So we can act on them individually. And if you have any questions, I can answer those for you.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the confidential employees' terms and commitment conditions.
Motion to approve.
Lauren, is there a second?
I'll second.
Jenny, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 8.7, review and act on the technology support assistant terms and conditions, again, as explained by Superintendent Evenson. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Corinne, is there a second?
Second.
Molly? Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 8.8, review and act on the building administrative assistance terms and conditions.
Motion to approve.
Jenny, is there a second?
Second.
Lauren, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Same for the building nurse terms and conditions.
Motion to approve.
Lauren, is there a second?
Second.
Matt, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, on to 9.1, superintendent report.
Okay, Chair Polly, members of the board, it is winter concert season. And actually, I will be very brief because I know some of you would like to get over to the high school choir concert if you can do that. That's happening right now. We do have some middle school concerts this coming week as well at 5:30, 6:30, and 7:30 tomorrow night. We also have our first and second grade concerts. Those are always a blast as well. And then next week is the high school band concert for at 7 p.m., followed by the middle school the next night. Winter brochures, you should have all received your winter brochures. Those hit mailboxes. I want to say Thanksgiving weekend. There's a lot going on right now for community education. Also, one thing that I didn't note on here, I believe it's the 16th. I'll be riding along with the Wheels Up group, to do the holiday lights and Christmas carols and all of the voting for the door decorating and all business decorations and that. Really looking forward to that night. I do think Cullen reached out. Anybody that wants to donate Christmas cookies and that, connect with him. He'd happily take them, and they just absolutely love them. And they get a little goodie bag they take with them after. It is the best thing ever. So.
That's what day?
I think it's the 16th.
Tuesday, the 16th, yep.
So it is so good. And that is what I have for my report tonight. I'll stand for any questions.
We're just happy to have you back.
Thank you.
We're sorry for,
Yeah.
yeah. Happy you're here.
Yeah,
Okay,
thanks.
so then we have the rest of the administrative team reports. Any comments or questions about any of the activities by the administrative team? I just want to thank them. They always do a nice job of encapsulating the last month of what's going on and looking forward. So nice job to all of them. Okay, Henry wasn't able to be here with us tonight. Obviously, he's in the choir concert. So then we will do committee reports. Budget and finance, no. Calendar obviously is done. We didn't have a city school meeting, community ed and rec. Corinne or Lauren?
I was there it was at 6 o'clock today, just before the board meeting. That's why I was a little late. We had about 5 agenda items. We talked about updates that are coming for celebrations and thank yous. We've got the Celebrate Jordan coming up April 12th. They're going to start planning for that at the end of the year. They're looking for some ideas to have, like, just something different, a little different. Like, they have a bunch of different themes that are going, and so they're hoping to find some additional ideas. There is the clothing drive on May 16th. They do this 2 times a year, and so this is going to be the one that's in the spring. And then there is a blood drive coming up on February 5th. Red Cross really likes coming here to do their blood drive. They said it's really easy to come in and just come right into the gyms. We talked about the Holiday Light Tours, which you guys already talked about, on December 16th. Colin did a big thank you to Deb, the commercial clubs, the Lions, the Lionesses for the donations to get that going. And he mentioned that they get to judge the local residents right now for this year, so that'll be fun for them. And then he did a little bit of discussion on the CERC. The rate memberships are going up in January 1st. Messaging has been sent out through multiple communications to the members in family districts. It's a $10 daily fee for users. It's a flat fee for both residents and non-residents. They're getting some alarm doors that will be triggered if anybody tries to open the doors to let people in. Let's see what else. Talked a little bit about the age requirement in the weight room, just because supervision and stuff, just to see how that's going there. Because the equipment and stuff gets aged, it gets damaged and stuff. So they did a little bit of discussion about that. So that is a really quick recap on that, because I left a little bit early. I know they were going to be talking about facility policies the second half of that meeting, so I don't know what was captured in there.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Lauren? Great update, thank you. Oh, district advisory, we meet next week, or did they meet?
No, we met and we just went over like all the different testing things that the district does. So it's a lot of stuff that we've already heard, like fast switch testing and ACT and like it was pretty much everything. But yeah, that was the recap of that.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, we meet again next week. Facilities, no meet and confer, no negotiations, rah, we're done, right? For a while, for a quick minute. Policy has not met. APAC met, they reviewed the field trips coming up. We have a meeting on Wednesday, of this week. Booster Club, Lauren or Chrissy, who's not here.
I was at the Booster Club meeting. They met, or we met on November 18th. I hate doing the recap on that because it's so far away, and I'll be at the next one. Hang on, let me see if I can get a quick recap. We had 2 requests come in for football and student workers that were approved. Jenny did a recap on the JEF Booster fundraiser, and they're working through sponsors, donations, the website, and the tickets for the Boots and Bling thing and all that stuff that's coming up. There's a new sponsorship from Pest Brothers. We have some sponsorship going for glasses at one of the local establishments. And then, let me see, the gambling group met. I'm on the gambling group as well. There's gonna be a few little changes because it's a very heavy lift for one particular person within the Booster Club, so we're trying to spread that work out as well. Because when you have one person, and that person happens to do the biggest location, and then she does all the supporting stuff for the rest of us that do the other locations, we had to start spreading some of that month-end stuff out and collecting of data and auditing and putting stuff in storage and things like that. So that's also what we talked about. And then we are meeting again on, I think it's the 17th that we're meeting, if I remember correctly. Yes, the 17th.
Good, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Education Foundation, Jenny or Molly?
The last time we met was just the staff coming in and going over what they bought. So it was really cool to see the things that they're implementing. So that was a good night. And then we met after for JEF and just talked about, we got like the meal planned, I think, for the Boots and Bling, and just some like things that we're doing to get ready for that. So,
Okay, thank you.
They're talking about doing, having the staff bring in their items moving forward. Because it was cool, because, what's the band? Guys?
Oh,
Logan.
Logan.
Yeah, Logan
Yeah,
brought in
they
his,
brought
yes.
in the
Showed
speaker
everybody
that
else
plays the music, so then you can play along with it. It's really cool. Yeah.
That's a great idea. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because it was really interesting to hear about all of the grants, what they're doing.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Good, thank you. Legislative, Lauren, you want to tackle that with me? So, DA, probably.
Oh, delegate assembly. So we did the whole delegate assembly thing this past weekend, Friday and Saturday. We had 36 resolutions. It was a great meeting. It's, again, one of my favorite activities.
Jeez.
It's one of my favorite activities, and yes, everybody reads this, and all delegates go out and do their due diligence and stuff, and I think there's some that probably kind of go out and do more than others because you have the same reoccurring people that get up and speak. But as a result, we had 23 resolutions pass and 13 fail. There were a few that had to go to a paddle vote because they were so close. There were a few that had quite a bit of discussions related to just the particular topic. Like one of them was, there was the resolution, one group brought forward about board member pay, and they wanted it to go to the state legislation, and it was like, wait a minute, we advocate all the time for local control.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that one was kind of like, why would you want that to go to the state legislator? The less of the legislation, the better, in my opinion, so. There were a few that didn't move forward for lack of motion, which was expected on some of those things, so. I don't know what the best way would be to give you a recap on all of these, because there were 36 of them. And so, I have this handy dandy book, if you would like to read through it like I did. You're more than welcome to borrow it.
Yeah.
But I love this meeting every single year, so I am not complaining about the book or anything like that. Oh, and then, they also give us the Minnesota School Finance Guide for legislators, so I always grab a copy every year in case anybody in the district would like to read this as well.
I have one too. There was actually another package just like that was on education finance. So I have both of them if anybody wants.
Isn't that what this is?
There was two of them.
Oh,
There
I
was
must-
another one.
I asked them if there were, I
No,
should
they were
take.
side by side. There was two of them. I'll show
Oh,
you.
I missed that one then. So I have one, she has the other.
Yeah, there was an interesting one. There was a resolution asking to repeal Q-comp. That was a close vote. But
Yeah, that was one.
Yeah,
I can see it on both sides of that.
it's not fair. I mean, it's just
I mean,
not
why
fair.
would you spread that money out?
Yes, exactly.
If you're a district that has relied on it and had it forever, I could see where you'd be like, hey, now what do we do?
There
I
was
think that was a
handful-
vote by 3, right?
I think so.
And it passed, no, it didn't pass.
failed.
It failed by
failed, yeah.
3 votes.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. So, and there was about 3 or 4 resolutions on PSEO, which was really interesting conversation. So I'm trying to, keep the money in the district, so. ESST was a big one, so it was a great use of our time, so.
They were very efficient too, because we really only went over about, 30 minutes maybe?
Yeah, it wasn't too
I wasn't,
bad.
I was like, there's no way we're getting out of here by noon. Didn't think for a second we would. And we were done by probably 12:30, 12:45. So they're very efficient. Some of them are straightforward, make common sense, you get through them. And then there's just those hot topic items that take a lot more discussion.
So the things that passed, what happens with them now?
That is, basically, those resolutions are what are presented to MSBA. MSBA goes to the legislative meetings, and those are what they advocate for us at the district level, from the district's
So
perspective.
that's actually the platform that our lobbyists use, so when they meet with the senators and representatives, they take the resolutions that we passed and say, these are the things we want to put into legislation. So then they find somebody that will write a bill and carry the bill.
Yeah.
So
Thanks
it's
for
very
going.
much grassroots, grassroots.
It's a great opportunity to network, too.
It is.
Oh, network. I thought you said not work.
That as well. Network.
Until 12:45.
Yeah.
But there's a whole group of presentations on Friday night when you're there, so it's not like it's just a half a day thing. No, you get down there at 5 o'clock on Friday, you listen to a couple presentations. Denise Dietrich did a great presentation on the
Land trust.
and then you do the next thing in the next morning. So, I love it. It's my favorite. Besides the leadership conference in January.
Yes. MSHSL, pretty much status quo there, gearing up for winter activities. Scale, okay.
Yeah, but we met last month on November 14th, so I don't know if I got a recap in on that. There were two things on the agenda, and it was the 2026 legislative priorities, and then the meeting update host was from Prior Lake and their watershed drainage area. Tony Albright was there, and he did basically kind of a review of his opinion on the challenges in the legislation due to the decline or the divided government. His bonding bill focus would be infrastructure, water, sewage, mental health. There was something else. The county's priorities are incremental growth, housing, unfunded mandates in roads and bridges, because, you know, the county gets unfunded mandates just like school districts do. Townships get unfunded mandates just like school districts do. Chad Sandy talked about, one of the bridges that was just done that the township is gonna be responsible for,
Yeah,
and.
that's the one out here out by the yard.
Yeah.
That's ours.
And they, I mean, how in the world does the township have resources to be responsible for that bridge? So, I mean, it's not only school districts that get unfunded mandates, it's everybody does. And again, why, I just think there should be less government and more local control. And less forced government. Sorry.
Thank you, Lauren. SEAC, Molly.
Yeah, so we met on the 24th, and there's two parents that were at the meeting, which was good. The parents did also bring up that they don't really know that these meetings are coming up. So just how to get the word out more to special education parents, so they know that they can come to these meetings. They did talk about all the different schools and what opportunities they have for the special needs kids in those different schools. The parents had topics about possibly collaborating with Belle Plaine at the SOAR program, looking at guardianship, what it means, how parents can get guardianship over their adult children, what due process is. They also talked about working with community ed to have opportunities for special needs kids to maybe go bowling together or, so do different opportunities that way. But Cullen did talk about that they've tried that and just the attendance is really low. And so it's really hard to know. So then if you're putting something that's a lot of money and then nobody shows up, then that's a problem too. So just how to make sure that we get the involvement there. But it was good. It was a good meeting. The spring meeting will be held in Belle Plaine at the SOAR program. The parents that were present did ask if maybe the high school kids would be interested in volunteering to provide childcare for their students while the parents attended the SOAR event. So I think that they're going to reach out and see if that's a possibility as well.
Good.
So.
Thank you. Okay, Southwest Metro, I wasn't there. Corinne graciously went in my place.
Yeah, I did. It was good. They did some community recognition right up front called Resource Rockstars. So it was just staff using curriculum in a positive way to enhance student learning. So they recognized a bunch of staff and students. Went over, there was a lot of policies. And then the main part of the main part of the meeting, they had some people present from, I gotta pull this up because I can't remember exactly what it was. St. Bonnie and East Union. And so they talked about some of the STEAM work they're doing with their kids. And there was a girl who was really excited to present. So she came up and was presenting how she uses music to code or code. It was interesting. I don't even know how to explain it very well because I don't know that I really understood what she was doing. But you pick a song and you go in and you can code the music and you can do different variations of the song and then it spits it out. And so she had a board member come up and she was trying to teach them. It was cute. So I think that's really, that was the gist of the meeting. And then we did, we did our highlights from our district that I wasn't prepared for.
Sorry, that was on me.
We did board reports and I was like, okay, yeah, no, it was fine. Renee was there as well, which was helpful for any things that I didn't know, so it was good.
Thank you for doing that.
Yes, of course.
Great, good. Okay, on to board reports. I'll start. Veterans Day programs were just incredible. Again, I always get teary when I go to those, very impressed by those. High school play, middle school play were awesome. Delegate assembly was a good experience. And just a couple of reminders, January 5th will be our organizational meeting. It'll be the first Monday in January, not the second. So get that on your calendars. And then January 14th will be Leadership Conference, and Matt and I will be there all day Wednesday doing phase 2. And then that evening, I believe that Renee will be sending out an inquiry about who's all coming to the awards banquet. Is going to be the Wednesday night instead of Thursday noon. So it's going to be a little different. It's going to be Wednesday night, awards banquet followed by dueling pianos and socializing. So she'll be sending out a thing so that we know how many are going to be going to that. And then on Thursday, the 15th, is the conference all day, and then we will be having board supper that night. And then, of course, Friday, again, as a half day of the conference, leadership conference. And also, January 24th will be our board retreat, Saturday the 24th, so get that on your calendars. And then just a reminder that this coming Sunday will be Ashley Lehman's funeral, so if you're able to go and support Dan, that would be wonderful. That's all I have. Molly?
I gotta put all these things in my calendar. The school board retreat's not on there, so I know.
I had the school board retreat on my calendar.
Oh, well,
I called and asked.
no, I'm just gonna say, that's a first. Trying to think. I'm really excited about the middle school concert tomorrow. Peyton has a solo, so I love when she sings solos. So, super excited about that. Nothing really else. I mean, Peyton's been a manager for 7th grade basketball, so that's kind of been fun. Those girls, and they've been playing all 8th graders, which is crazy because every school doesn't have a 7th grade team, or it's been really interesting. Excited for winter sports season to pick up. Love this time of year. All the Christmas lights around town, but softball never stops for us, so we're still doing that every night. So that's all for me.
Lauren?
I went to the high school play too. That was very good. And I really don't have any. I had a busy couple of schedules that I just recapped on, so I really don't have anything else.
Great, thank you. Corinne?
Let's see. Had Eden's birthday party over the weekend, so that was chaos.
My kid was a part of it.
I think they were all tired this morning and yesterday. Let's see. Wednesday, I get to decorate gingerbread houses with Grayson in kindergarten.
Oh,
So
fun.
that'll be fun.
I love that.
I don't know. I mean, we got basketball going on, and it's great. I mean, it's crazy busy just this time of year. So many things. Concert tomorrow, choir concert. I did this to myself, but started club volleyball practice. So just why not just throw something else in there? So yeah, I don't know. That's all I got.
Okay, Jen?
I don't know, we went to the Jordan Dazzle this weekend, and that was really great. The kids liked it, and I don't know, we've just been busy doing all the things. I'm excited for the snow, honestly, and having the kids outside playing, so.
Do they like to shovel?
They like to play in the snow blower, like, offshoot, get hit by the snow, I don't know. Or like we have this hill in our backyard, so like to sled down that, yeah.
Great. Matt?
Yeah, we got, had fun at the First Club walking the parade. It was short, we had a little giddy up to our step this year. We were moving.
Yes.
And, I got a, dancer set up for my daughter this weekend, so that'll be fun. She thinks she's doing 3 performances, so, and then, yeah, looking forward to ice freezing up a little bit of the lake, so little thicker, so we can get out there fishing, so.
Great, good. Superintendent Evenson, anything else other than you want to go home?
Anything Beaver Day?
I just want to say I do not like kidney stones. They are not awesome. But no, honestly, I couldn't be more happy with how our kids are doing and performing. And, I hear all the time, I talk to a lot of different superintendents, and I am grateful every day for, like our students shared with us tonight, our staff is amazing, our kids are amazing, and I just feel like they all work really, really hard to make sure everyone has a good experience every day. And I think that's pretty special. So just a lot of gratitude, because I know that it takes a little extra time in everybody's day to just do those little extra things, but it really does make a difference. So a lot of gratitude to our staff for that, doing that for our kids. So
Yeah, I was really struck by our exchange students, hearing about how culturally different the teachers and education is from those two countries that are, you know, different parts of the world. So it says a lot, I think, about our staff. So thank you.
Well, I have a friend of ours whose son is a foreign exchange student from here in Germany.
Oh.
And he's just shocked at how disrespectful the kids are to the students, or to the parents.
Oh.
And to the teachers. And he's just like, why are you disrespecting your teacher? And like, and the teacher's like, you should all be more like this kid from America. And it's like, oh gosh, like,
Interesting.
yeah. So he's like, call him out in middle class in German.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, and with that,
Motion to adjourn.
we are adjourned.